We're talking about trans women who are, in fact, women, who deserve to play in a gender that matches their sports. My name is Kelly Robinson. I use she, her pronouns. I'm proud to serve as president of the Human Rights Campaign, our nation's largest civil rights organization working to achieve full equality for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer people across the country.
Now, first of all, I have an issue with anybody starting off their conversation saying what pronoun they use. I can give 2 sugar honey iced teas what pronoun you use, okay? I think that's one of the most ridiculous things ever. It's just like a slow down to a conversation. Okay, before we have this conversation, I just want you to know that I identify as us and we. If you refer to me as he, we're going to have a problem.
On behalf of HRC's more than 3 million members and supporters, I've come here today with a single message. The LGBTQ plus people of the United States are living in a state of emergency. This is not an exaggeration. This is not a dramatization. More than 525 anti-LGBTQ plus bills have been introduced this year in the States. More than 220 of those bills target the transgender community, many targeting children, transgender children. And more than 75 of those anti-LGBTQ plus bills have now become law. We're sitting here 7 years since the Pulse nightclub shooting where 49 lives were stolen, and just over 7 months since the shooting at Club Q that stole 5 lives from the community. This uptick of violence is real, and you've said it already. 1 in 5 of every crime is motivated by anti-LGBTQ plus bias. The other reality that we know is true is that these bad bills targeting the community are often accompanied by campaigns of misinformation and lies that sow fear and transphobia in communities. The very fact that we can't identify Leah Thomas as a transgender woman is playing into the fear and anxiety that's motivating these crimes. I talk to people every day. I talk to pediatricians that are being escorted to their cars by armed guards because of the bomb threats that they're receiving. I talk to drag queens who are being confronted by Proud Boys with AR-15s outside of drag queen story hours.
Ain't nobody going up to a drag queen with a weapon. Come on, man. Come on. Why in the world will if somebody approached a drag queen to show their disdain for them, why would they walk up to them with a gun? It makes absolutely no sense. And honestly, it seems like people are trying to drum up their stories and make themselves an even bigger victim in order to be received in a certain type of way.
This epidemic is real and requires action, both legislative and also cultural, in stopping this ability for people to just spout lies about our community.
This has been your experience over and over and over. You're told as a woman to shut up, don't say anything. What's that like?
That is continually happening. And if we do speak up, you're immediately labeled as some name. They will call you everything under the sun, whether it's transphobic, homophobic, racist, white supremacist, domestic terrorist. They will throw them all at you in hopes to deter you, in hopes to silence you. Leah Thomas's teammates, they were forced every single week to go to mandatory LGBTQ education meetings to learn about how just by being cisgender, they were oppressing Leah Thomas. They were told that they're not allowed to take a stance because their school has already taken their stance for them. They were told that you will never get a job, you will never get into grad school, you will lose your friends, you will lose your scholarship and playing time if you speak out. They told these girls that if you do speak out, and any harm whatsoever comes towards Thomas's way, whether that's through social media, whether that's physical, mental, emotional harm, then you are solely responsible, and you could be responsible for a potential death. And you don't want that, do you?
Well, first of all, why would they even put that on the mind of students while they're trying to get an education and play a sport that they love to play and they're good at? First of all, they didn't give a damn about these young ladies having to look at a woman with a ding-a-ling in super broad shoulders, looking like Michael Phelps, standing right beside them, having to swim with and against this person every single day. I have to work out with this person. I have to shower with this person. I have to do all these things, walk around on eggshells. I can't say a damn thing or else I am the enemy. Who gives a damn how we are making this one person feel when this one person and the entire administration is against us? And they are just natural girls trying to play a sport. and trying to go to school and be happy. But you can't say nothing about it, because if you do, then you can lose your scholarship. Your life will be horrible in school. You might have to transfer, get new friends, get new teachers. Like, all that is BS, man.
Of course not. Who would ever want to be responsible in a potential death? But that is the emotional blackmail that is plaguing this country, especially in universities.
All right, let's go back to the biology. Male, female, boy, girl, okay? Biologically, do males have an advantage over females biologically in sports?
Again, I'm not a physician, and I can't speak to that.
What do you mean you're not a physician? You said you talk to people all the time. I talk to physicians, I talk to doctors, I talk to lawyers, I talk to trans people, I talk to other people. Yeah, you will be the person to answer that.
What's your real world experience?
It depends. I mean, there are some people who are born male that I'm faster than if I were to sprint against them, and some that I'm not. Some males that are taller than some women, and some that are shorter.
You don't believe that a biological male has a physical advantage in sports over a biological female?
Not as a definitive statement.
Give me an example. Well, no, I don't think. How many female members of the NBA do you see?
Well, I can say that, there's been this news article about men that think that they could beat Serena Williams in tennis, right? That they think that they could actually score a point on her. And it's just not the case. She is stronger than that.
What's your experience, Ben? Male, female?
Both Serena and Venus lost to the 203rd ranked male tennis player, which they're phenoms for women. My experience, my husband, he swam at University of Kentucky as well. In terms of accolades and in terms of national ranking, I was a much better swimmer than him. He could kick my butt any day of the week without trying.
Okay.
But you will never have anybody who's high-ranking LGBTQ say that. You will never have the lady that's sitting beside her say that. Nah, not on her life. Because if she does, then she will be going against everything that she's fighting for. All right. And again, I want to say this because I need for people to understand this. When I received an email from somebody saying, you gay people, that's what they said to me in the title of their email. In the title of their email, that's what they said. I actually reposted this on Twitter. I redacted their name and everything because I didn't want to put their name out there. But to prove their point, in a later email, they sent a picture of two men kissing each other and says, what do you think about this picture? And be careful what you about to say, because I'm gonna do something like destroy you in text or something like that. I'm really about to make you feel bad about yourself or something like that. I mean, why would you even send that? But this young lady that's sitting next to Miss Rowley, she's not gonna admit that men are naturally stronger, that men's limbs are naturally bigger, that our bone structure is, because she's not gonna admit any of that. Why? Because it does not work to her argument. Those are the type of people that I can't listen to because you're not objective. You just came there to win an argument. You just came there for people to listen to you because obviously you feel like you are the most important person in the room. Just like in these school systems make these trans students feel like they are the most important people in the room, which they are not. Everybody are equal. Everybody's equal, okay? And since everybody's equal, let's play sports together with people that are born with the same gender, all right? So that it can all remain equal. We don't want anybody to be picked on in the locker rooms or any of those type of things, all right? Now, just because you don't feel comfortable with being a man and now you've transitioned to a girl, to a woman, and you want to be in women's sports, you wanting to be in women's sports is not a right. That's not a right of yours. It's not. It's also not a right for anybody to pick on you, make you feel less than, and it's also not a reason for you, the person that's going through this transition, to want to hurt yourself because people are hurting your feelings by not accepting you. Nobody has to accept you. Whenever I go into a room, I don't care if it's a whole bunch of white people that were raised in the sticks and all of them black people, okay? If I go in that room, I should not expect for everybody to like me. The arrogance of me to want that. The arrogance of me to accept that. When people were raised up different type of ways, okay? And they're going to treat me accordingly. And I'm going to treat them accordingly. Okay? Only thing I want is respect, but that has to be earned. Simple and plain. Life is not fair. Been teaching my kids this all their lives. All their lives. I have a 26-year-old who's my oldest and a 17-year-old who's my youngest, who's upset with me right now. That's my baby girl. I love you so much. I'm sorry you're upset with me. But it's for a good reason. But here's the thing. I've been teaching them that life is not fair. It's not. And if you want something, you earn it. To fix this whole transgender sports thing, open a trans league. Start a trans league. Period. One thing you're starting to see more of it, each day you're starting to see it more and more and more, that men or boys are starting to compete against girls. But you're not starting to see girls transition to men and playing against men. You're not seeing that. Why is that? Because they ain't got a chance in hell of winning. Because naturally they're not big enough. They're not strong enough. It is what it is. I don't think that's the part I don't understand. How come that transitioning is only going one way?
I just think, Ms. Robinson, I'm trying to understand where you're coming from. I think you lose a lot of credibility when you don't concede that a biological male has physical advantages over a biological female. I mean, I just think that's a proven fact. And you really hurt your credibility. I understand you want the world to be a better place. I do too. And I don't think people ought to be discriminated against because of an immutable characteristic. I don't.
He's being very nice to her. He's really trying to be extremely understanding, and he's letting her know, we're trying to listen to you, but your stubbornness is losing you all credibility right now. You're not trying to concede with any of these points. You're trying to act as if this is new knowledge when you already understand. I'm certain this lady understands. I'm certain she knows, but she's not going to concede because she's on a one-track mind. And for some strange reason, this is the thing. When people grow older, when people get older, I'm 45 years old now, and I do realize that I can still have a constructive conversation with someone, still have my own points, but also be objective and listen and learn something in the process. Even if I don't agree with you, even if my point is complete polar opposite of yours, I can still be objective and understand some of the things you're saying. And I can acknowledge it without giving away my point. I can still stand on my point and still understand where you're coming from. This young lady, she's young, she's dumb, and she believes she's smarter than she is. She's not. One day she's going to wake up, hopefully, and we will see.
And I think that I think everybody ought to be free to be themselves. And what you do in your bedroom or what I do in my bedroom with a consenting adult is nobody's business. But if what I do in my bedroom with a consenting adult, if I decide I want to tell somebody's child about it, then other people have rights too. And I think parents have rights. And I think biological females have rights to be able to compete fairly in sport, in sports. So I really think you hurt your credibility when you refuse to acknowledge that biological males have an advantage over biological females. It kind of makes me wonder about all your testimony. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Kennedy. I'm sorry, go ahead.
What I'm trying to say is that there is not a definitive advantage in all cases. Sir, I don't know if you believe that you could beat Serena Williams in tennis, but I probably think that that's not the case.
Miss Kelly Robinson, stop playing dumb. Okay, you believe you sound smart right now with the definitive case. I don't believe it's definitive. Just because you're a man, you can beat a woman. Everybody know that. Everyone know that. Okay? If I played tennis against Serena Williams, I would not win. Period. But it has been proven that another professional male who's not as skilled as her well, not necessarily not as skilled as her, but don't have the accolades and has not won the championships that they won. Serena and her sister Venus Williams have won. It has been proven that men with lesser accolades can beat them. That has been proven already. What's your point? You get it. You understand what he's saying, but you won't give in because you want to act like you're smarter than you are, baby girl. Just concede. It will help everyone.
There are not all cases where all men are physically superior to all women. And at the end of the day, in this conversation, we're not talking about that. We're talking about trans women who are, in fact, women, who deserve to play in a gender that matches their sports, who deserve all the benefits that Ms. Gaines is talking about.
We're talking about trans women who are, in fact, women. Excuse me? Trans women who are, in fact, women? What? No, it's trans women who are in fact men who are aspire to be a woman. Okay, that's what it is. It's not trans women who are in fact. Where's the fact? If you want to talk about facts, then we have to go to science. And science will say what you're saying right now is bull sugar honey iced tea.
And as a cisgender black woman,
there you go with the cis. Cis. You are not cis. You see what I did there?
I can say definitively that my womanhood is not threatened by a transgender person asserting hers as well.
Well, who would it be?
Well, I don't know. Let's say you would be the...
I was hoping you'd say.
All right, feminine side. And me.
And you. Oh. Well, actually, it's funny because Andy Murray, he was been joking about myself and him playing a match, and I'm like, Andy, seriously, like, are you kidding me? Because for me, tennis and men's tennis and women's tennis are completely almost two separate sports. So I'm like, if I were to play Andy Murray, I would lose 6-0, 6-0 in 5 to 6 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, because no, it's true. It's true. It's a completely. Really? It's a completely different sport. The men are a lot faster, and they serve harder, they hit harder. It's just a different game.
Where's Kelly Robinson now? Can somebody bring Kelly Robinson to the stage, please? Because guess what? The one that she was just now taking up for, she's speaking up for it right now. She's telling you right now, just listen. Just close your daggone mouth and listen.
And I love to play women's tennis, and I only want to play girls because I don't want to be embarrassed. I would not do the tour. I wouldn't do Billie Jean any justice. So Andy, stop it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let you kill me.
I'm with you when it comes to tennis. I only want to play girls.
Yeah.
We got that going on.
You heard what David Letterman said. When it comes to playing tennis, I only want to play girls. I don't, because when my daughter was playing tennis in high school, I'm the type of father where I don't care what sport you play, I'm going to be your coach before you go back to school and play for your coach. So after school, I'm the coach. During the summer, I'm the coach. So you playing tennis now? I guess I got to learn how to play tennis. I'm out there playing, and I actually became okay enough to volley with her. In case people don't know what volley means, let's just go back and forth, bow, 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 for a good, a long time. But that movement, that lateral movement, and running up and running back and lateral, bow, 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 moving like that, I wasn't used to it. And something went pop. My Achilles, tore my Achilles, man. I thought I was shot out that bad boy. I literally heard a pop, and I was on the ground like, what the? Oh my gracious! I had to get a cast, a boot. I had to go through therapy, all that stuff while I was at work, and I was working and everything. But I'm just saying, it's not as easy as it looks. But as you just now saw, Serena Williams admitted it. She was like, yo, it is what it is. They're faster, they're stronger, they serve harder. Like, come on. So people who want to stay in the dark, like this young lady right here, like her, she wants to stay in the dark just to prove her point. And that's okay, because she has a job to do. She has dedicated herself in her life to a group of individuals who she feel like are victimized and treated poorly by society as a whole. That's something that she don't mind generalizing. But she won't generalize the fact that men are naturally stronger than women. That's weird, ain't it? She would generalize something to support her point, but she won't generalize something that goes against her point. That's the problem with us when it comes to conversation, communication with one another. We just close ourselves off once we make our point. We turn off our ears until we're ready to talk again, just so we can hear ourselves. Oh, I sound so brilliant. Oh, that point I just now made was amazing. I'm sure that's going to make them mad. So this was crazy. Hopefully you got something out of it. Love y'all, man. I'll see y'all in the next video.